Hello, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. This time I have made a Behemoth build. Titan used to be one of my favorite classes, actually my favorite, until Bungie decided that Titans are not allowed to do anything other than punch. So that would be pre-final shape. However, even though this is a melee build, it's using grenades too. So it's not a traditional melee build either, it's something other than Consecration or the Charge of Falcon Punch. Something other than that. As you can see, my stats are not great. I have neglected my Titan. I apologize. Stats wise, you want to have 200 melee. It is still a melee build, but it's Howl of the Storm, so it's not quite the same. It's not like other melee builds. And you do also want some decent grenade, at least 100. And Super 2 classes, not as important, though if you have it high you can spam barricades, super rock, hard to most life more. So this is one of the builds that feels like it actually has good uptime on abilities, despite not being Consecration Prismatic Titan. Which is rare for Titan in general these days. So, artifacts, I have Wind Chill, because Frost Armor damage resist, Crystalline Converter for more stasis crystals on hits with Howl of the Storm, Hail the Storm, because I'm going to have a bunch of stasis crystals all over the place, Frost Renewal, while you have Frost Armor taking critical damage releases a burst that freezes nearby combatants and grants Frost Armor to you and nearby allies. And then Weakened Clear, using grenade launcher damaging a boss, damaging a champion, or breaking a combatant's shield, reloads restored weapons and weakens the combatant. And because I'm using Anarchy with this, it's always going to be active on major targets. Picking up stasis shards grants you class ability energy. This is how we keep uptime on our barricade, and the whole function of that is predominantly just to refund energy via Heartfield's Light. Then Brain Freeze. Frozen combatants become surrounded by a chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already slowed. You can use kinetic impacts there if you want to, because Anarchy, which will then let your Anarchy stun unstoppable champions as well. As for subclass, Behemoth, I wish we had another super, but Bungie was lazy. Bradley Barricade for the cooldown. Shiver Strike is the only option we have, sadly, but it is an amazing movement tool, which you'll see in the gameplay. I use this build to solo Grandmaster Nightfall, or Grandmaster Vanguard Alerts, as they are now called. The Shatter Grenade for the new one is a nuke. Once you have enough stasis crystals for it to detonate, it's so good. Tectonic Harvest to give us damage resist and keep us alive, and Howl of the Storm for granting additional melee charge and creating creating stasis crystals that use to create stasis shards, get damage resist. And as for my fragments, a Whisper of Shards for more grenade uptime. We're going to be breaking crystals all the time. Whisper of Conduction for stasis shards to trap to you. This is really mandatory. Sometimes it's not feasible to run out of position to grab the stasis shards yourself. Whisper of Rhyme for more damage resist and more damage resist duration, and Whisper of Fissures for more shatter damage. You can swap Whisper of Shards for... where is it? Trying to find it. Hunger. If you want to, you can do this. It will let you spam more reliably. However, your grenade will not be up nearly as much. As someone who likes using multiple abilities, not just punching things, Bungie, I prefer to have Whisper of Shards. And as for my weapons, Lost Signal, it's great for destroying stasis crystals out of range. It also stuns overloads. Outside Apex, this is just my favorite primary in the game. So you don't really need to worry about burning ambition on this, obviously, but Attrition Orbs is nice. Anarchy, when stuck to a target, will break crystals near the target. So you can just focus on spamming more rather than actively breaking the crystals yourself which is nice. However, it makes it harder to combo with your shatter grenade, so use your shatter grenade before you pop anarchy. Then Heart of Most Light is our exotic armor piece. Using an ability buffs the other two to be stronger in terms of doing damage or the barricade having more health, and if it's an offensive ability, it will do more damage. I don't know the exact percentages. I'm pretty sure the actual cooldown reduction it's rather an 800% cooldown ability energy recharge speed. So you will passively get 9 seconds worth of energy back every second. If I am remembering. That's at ×2. And as for mods, I have Harmonic Solar Siphon. You can go Harmonic if you want to. Super font, because this super is really good. This is a whatever. I should actually put Harmonic Siphon on so I can also have Lost Signal. Let me see that real quick. On my arms. Causing damage to the power melee attack reduces your grenade. Causing damage to the grenade reduces your melee. Class ability energy from your melee. We don't need to worry about any orbs from this. We have attrition orbs here. Also, because of elemental charge, we will be getting armor charges through stasis shards, and we will have plenty of those. Then I have Banter already, just to help with some health regen. You can pick whatever here, really. Recuperation sucks, it's only 15 health now, so Banter already seemed like the better pick to me. Arc Weapon Surge for more anarchy damage. Here I use Concept Dampener, whichever damage type is increased in the Grandmaster this week, which is Void, and then whatever the next most common damage type is. Usually the one that's increased will be the most common damage type or the most devastating damage type in that activity. Like the Scoring Snipers use Void, and the grenades are Void. And it hurts. You need Void Resistance and Concussive Dampener to live. Then on my mark, I have Time Dilation, so my charges last longer, Powerful Attraction, automatically collects number of orbs of power when you activate your class ability, just useful utility, and Bomber. Because of how many stasis shards you get all the time, you can take on Time Dilation and put something like Special Finisher if you really want to. And this here is my cosmetic setup. Actually, let me change this to this. There we go. That looks better. Anyway, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Sorry for the weird cut. My game crashed and the end of that video got deleted. It didn't save it. But anyway, this is the Grandmaster Nightfall. Oh, so the Grandmaster Vanguard Alert. We don't keep calling them Nightfalls anyway, because that's what they were for years. Don't know why Bungie changed the name. As you can see, as opposed to the Solar Hunter build I recently made a video on, the Stasis has ridiculous burst. The Hunter had decent sustained damage, but the burst all those Stasis crystals can generate, it's really ridiculous. There were so many takes of this, trying to get it so I didn't have a rough run on the recorder. User error, not the build's fault. But another fun thing about Stasis is you can just knock stuff back. A lot. It's satisfying. Like that. Bye. Oh my gosh, I love doing that. And bye again. Wow, that's so funny. The melee from the Behemoth, the base melee, is an amazing movement tool. It only takes a small amount of melee energy so long as you don't actually hit something. Even without Whisper of Hunger, you really do not need to worry about like your melee cooldowns. It's just so ridiculous. This next room is probably the worst. I think I said that in my last video, but it's true. This room, everything is spawning near you all the time. The other spawn zones where you have to stand on a blade, not nearly as bad. Your healing on this build is based off of picking up stasis shards. So it's not the constant regeneration that you get with Solar's Restoration. It's not anything to scoff at, because it gives you lots of damages too. I think the highest, other than Overshield, Void Overshield is 70%, Whisper of Rhyme with max stasis, Frozen Armor is 50% or 49. Third would be Woven Mail, and then there are a few other ones from doing stuff like this. That's besides the point. Even if it's just one person on their own, it is not a waste for you to throw out one of those stasis crystal mines, because they are healing. This is how you sustain yourself. So long as you get all the shards, it's not a waste. Try to be careful about releasing the shards on the crystals onto like uneven terrain, because it might just decide to not spawn all of them. This is the most dangerous part. Oh, one of the most dangerous parts for Behemoth, because you are fairly close range at this point. So I always use my super at this part because of how much damage these guys do. It's frustrating. I just want my class ability to give me some energy back. The hardest part of the build is maintaining the proper spacing. Those totems are a pain, and I absolutely love them. Another one thrown out the edge. This build also gets stronger the more people use it. The downside in multiplayer is that if someone who does not have a means of generating stasis shards breaks your stasis crystals, they'll not spawn shards, so your ability uptime will be worse. But if someone also uses this build, or uses some stasis build that can generate shards, you will be able to spam a lot more, because they will be generating shards when they destroy your crystals and when they destroy their own crystals. For someone else who ran this exact build with me in a different run of this, after recording this video actually, and together, oof, that was a bad death, that was so stupid. Together we were able to absolutely spam like nobody's business, because we were generating shards for each other to use. This super is still one of the strongest total damage supers. I really love that they took away the cooldown on generating stasis shards. It's so nice. It makes stasis actually good for the first time in so long. Yes, I know they had the stasis hunter build, but honestly it sucked in my opinion. Cadmus Ridge is another good build. Does not have nearly as much offensive power as Howl of the Storm in general does. And another one falls off the edge. I love that so much. Cadmus Ridge doesn't have as much firepower, but it's ridiculously safe. It's an amazing control build. And the Grandmaster's control is very useful. Just, you have to be patient. Okay, no. I've done so many runs of this, trying to get the best recording I could, and there were times I died in that exact spot because of the screep having a bigger area than I remembered. Or from my own shatter grenade, which I did not dealt self-damage until way too many attempts. I was trying to slide, but it just didn't let me, so I wasted my melee. Just popping the barricades for most lines. This was such a stupid death. I should have hung back more. It's so dangerous, just doing the animation for Howl of the Storm. It has amazing damage. And the utility of the stasis crystals is also amazing. Stasis has some of the best synergies within itself in the game. there, because I didn't have my melee up, I threw the grenade first to boost the melee recharge and trying to get the melee out before the grenade exploded, which I succeeded at, and it does a lot of damage. But these two, I remember recording this and being like, oh, I'm wasting so much time on these two, it's gonna look so stupid on the recording. That, I do not know how that did not freeze the guy. It's so stupid, I'm just crouch walking towards the crystals. I wasted way too much time on that. Yo, that's so goofy to look back on. Guy's just falling out of the sky from the knockback. That's gonna be an epic book. I was so focused on killing everything that I really was not paying attention to the time of the actual objective. I don't know why that grenade just sort of floated over to an enemy when it's trying to throw it at a crystal. Was that overkill? Yes. Do I count? No. It's so satisfying. A combination of the fragment that boosts the grenade recharge and Heart of Almost Light actually makes your grenade recharge roughly what it used to be on the old Heart of Almost Light. I miss those days. And another one off the edge. I'm gonna have to make a compilation of that. Here I'm specifically going to the wall, because if you go the normal way, on like the clearest, most obvious path, you will get shredded. learned that the hard way after I don't even know how many attempts at this. That is... oh my gosh, the crystals are so funny about that. I'm surprised they made the damage on the shatter actually good again. It had been so long since that was the case. The bridge is arguably one of the coolest finds in this mission. I learned the hard way that you really got to just super right away. So satisfying. Coolest find from this mission. I don't know what stunned it there because shatter isn't supposed to stun them anymore. But I will take it. I almost killed myself there. I was way too dangerous. The shatter is a reliable way to break the void totems, or sensors, or whatever you want to call them. This boss is such a coward. I love everything about this mission other than this boss. Heck, I'll take stupid counter up again. This was a ballsy move, and not particularly bright, but to pay off. And this was stupid. I should have died right there. That was the death I was remembering. First of all, pretty sure Howl of the Storm gives you damage resist once active. If it doesn't, it needs it. Secondly, I thought I was way above the screen, and it was frozen. Unfortunately, with Stasis and Strand, the current control effects do not prevent enemies from finishing their attack. So even if you cancel their animation, the attack will often still land. Like with the slams of Abominations. That's the most noticeable one. Pop my super specifically because of the immunity totem. It was not breaking, I was so annoyed. That was both cinematic and stupid. That was my stupidest death on this run. I also think it was my last one. Honestly, the hardest way to play Grandmaster Vanguard alerts nowadays is to do it duo. Because you cannot self-revive. So if you're playing with an idiot, you're more likely to lose duo. If you're playing trios, then at least you have like 2 people who can res you. Like one can res, the other one can cover. It's a lot easier with 3 people. And that's another use for the melee. You can use the bonus movement from the Behemoth melee to launch yourself through crystals and also shatter them. Do make sure that the end of your melee, when you actually punch forwards, does not hit the stasis crystal, or you will lose your melee charge. But if you get the timing right, it's free movement and shatter with minimal cost. Balance was such a terrible throw. another one off the side. I don't know what happened there. It didn't spawn any crystals.
Destroyed has been dealt with for the moment.
Everything's too amazed, you know? Thanks for the hard work.
Fun fact, if that melee hits anything, that it actually hits something, regardless of whether or not that's actually a damageable thing, even if you just hit the wall, it will tick your charge. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And I hope you have a nice day. Bye.